Tonight, Powerscourt Hotel in Wicklow welcomes business leaders from across the island of Ireland as they gather to celebrate their biggest achievements this year. And as friends and family look on, one of this year's finalists will receive the ultimate honour, the award of EY Entrepreneur of the Year 2024.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your hosts, Catherine Thomas and Anton Savage.
Hello and welcome to the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. Tonight is the Oscars of Irish business. And among our 24 finalists, we have a galaxy of stars to parade over the next hour.
These are the proven performers who have slogged, who have sparkled through countless early starts, late nights, lost weekends, and along the way, they have created thousands of jobs all over the island of Ireland.
They sure have, and they deserve every ounce of acclaim they receive. And this is our opportunity on Thanksgiving Day, no less, to say Mila Buíochas.
We're going to be giving out gongs in 3 categories this evening: emerging, established and international. And we're also going to be recognising an exceptional environmental achievement and, of course, crowning the 2024 overall EY Entrepreneur of the Year. And they will then go and represent Ireland at the World Awards in Monte Carlo next summer.
Ooh, fancy. So, without further ado, let's get this party started. The first 4 finalists in the emerging category are ready for their close-up.
Sharon Cunningham and Orla Ryan make cancer treatments a little easier to swallow. Founded in 2018 and headquartered in Clonmel, Shorla Oncology's market potential is hundreds of millions of dollars from the 8 drugs in their pipeline of hope.
Orla and I are like-minded individuals, but we have a complementary skill set. Orla brings the science, I bring the finance, and together I think it makes the journey a lot more enjoyable and a lot easier.
You need to be able to see the big picture, be strategic, but also roll up the sleeves to get the job done. You're not sitting in an ivory tower. You are part of the team. You are developing the goals and you're leading.
A love of gaming is the keystone of Beyond Creative. Casper Weber and Liam McMahon bring real-world brands to their Fortnite games, enjoyed by tens of millions of players.
Beyond Creative only really exists because there's such a huge demand from brands to reach a new and younger demographic.
When I was younger, I never thought of myself as an entrepreneur. I didn't realize inventing games would bring me this far. I started on YouTube and then eventually met Casper and we created Beyond Creative.
The very unique thing about us is we started this whole journey because we loved the game and because we were players ourselves.
Damien Young is making small journeys epic in 60 locations across Europe. With its e-scooters and e-bikes, Carlow-based Zeus replaces thousands of last-mile trips with a convenient, environmentally friendly alternative.
My background is actually in financial services and technology. I've admired the Entrepreneur of the Year from afar over the last 20-odd years, and to be nominated was absolutely super, a dream come true. I've always desired to have my own business. I like to move fast. I don't like problems. I like solutions. So the company has become very kind of solution orientated, moves at a pace. We get things done.
After experiencing hair loss during IVF, Denise Phillips' mission has been to provide a hair care solution for everyone. Voodoo offers scalp treatments, styling tools and home care solutions across retail, online and social platforms.
I grew up in the hair industry. I was working on the salons since 12 years of age, so I know every single in and out of my businesses. The trophy isn't always the title. People will remember you for the help you give others, and I believe that if it comes from the heart, it will always be that bit stronger. If the passion and the reason and the why is from here and not from money, you'll always go further.
Oh, great stuff. Our first 4 nominees there who have clearly put their heart into their business and their business into their heart.
Let's meet our next 4 passion projects with a head full of dreams. They've their eyes on the prize.
Andrea Reynolds and Kieran Burke lead Swoop,
A one-stop money shop tackling the biggest problem facing business globally: access to finance. In just 6 years, they've been instrumental in securing €1.5 billion for their clients.
I come from an entrepreneurial family. My father started a great business, my brother grew that great business, and I saw the effect that a growing business can have in a community.
Blind optimism, an essential ingredient for any entrepreneur. You just kind of sometimes have to just throw yourself in the deep end and just fundamentally believe that you can do it.
Will Kennedy and Adrian Gilban had something in common they never talked about: hair loss. Now their hair care brand Sons ships 4,000 boxes a month, bringing clinically proven treatments and bringing the conversation direct to the patient.
Adrian's background in pharma was able to identify that we could license the 2 clinically proven meds. It was my angle to say, well, actually, remove the clinic, could we do it online, direct to patient?
The fact that I knew that these treatments were making an improvement to me and my self-confidence, and knowing that that could help my friends initially, and then you have randomers coming up to you at weddings and saying, oh, I use your products, that's a really nice feeling.
Ecoplex is a leading provider of solar PV, electric vehicle charging and installation, employing 200 across Ireland. With 2 startups under his belt, Seamus Tighe knows what it takes to power a new business.
Being relentless, showing a bit of toughness, grit, and having to make hard decisions. I suppose like you have to put the 2 feet on the ground every day and get up and go at it. No one else is going to do it for you. Success, you're always searching for it, and when you hit one milestone, you're probably on to the next one.
Seasonal, locally sourced food is the root of the success at Sprout & Co. Jack Kerwin's fascination for food has grown into an 8-restaurant business, employing 200, serving 1.5 million bowls this year.
When we started off, numerous people told me this would only ever be a niche way of eating. We've now begun to see a huge amount of people starting to eat the food that we make. Being an entrepreneur humbles you, genuinely, because it is so hard. And I also think you can't really run a hospitality business without generosity being at the core of what you're about. Generosity that comes in the spirit, how you treat people that you work with, how you treat your customers. So that's a hugely important part of what we do.
Well, we are going to test the generosity of all of our emerging nominees now, as it's time to hand out the first award of the evening.
To reveal the winner, please welcome Karen Collin of Enterprise Ireland and Jeremy Fitch from Invest Northern Ireland.
Based on examination of our emerging finalists, the prognosis is clear. Entrepreneurship on the island of Ireland is in rude good health.
The winner of the emerging category is Sharon Cunningham and Orla Ryan from Shorla Oncology.
This award represents the pinnacle of a phenomenal year for Shorla. All thanks to our amazing team who show up every day and go above and beyond. Thank you to the judges for recognising that. Thank you to EY and all of the 2024 finalists who have made this programme so enjoyable and so much fun on the way. Thank you to our husbands, Patrick and Stephen, and our 5 amazing boys who have come on this journey with us. For the unconditional love, support and patience, thank you. To our parents and our siblings and all our family that have given us the wings to fly and all of the encouragement to get there, thank you.
To our friends and support systems, both here in Ireland and in Boston, it takes a village. Thank you. To our stakeholders, our board of directors, our investors, mentors, advisors, we would not be standing here today without you. Thank you. I want to say a very special word of thanks to two very special men who are here with us tonight. Both EOI alumni also, Patsy Carney and Tom Brennan. Thank you for giving us the inspiration. Thank you for everything you've done for us and showing us how it's done. We are eternally grateful. To the patients we serve, it's an honour and a privilege. Gurv Mila Mahagwith.
Oh, Sharon and Orla, what amazing role models to kick off the night. Well done, ladies. And also to inspire the next generation. As the late poet Ivan Boland said, our future will become the past of other women.
And speaking of inspirational stories, our next award recognises the humanitarian efforts of a former finalist in this competition. So to announce the inaugural winner of the Alumni Award, will you please welcome to the stage Roger Wallace, the partner lead for EY Entrepreneur of the Year.
Disruption is a word that's often heard in entrepreneurial circles. But in recent years, our world has truly been turned upside down by conflicts that threaten the lives of millions. One of our EY Entrepreneur of the Year alumni refused to be an innocent bystander. Calling on the support of his fellow alumni who responded in force, he deployed his business acumen to deliver the most valuable commodity of all, hope.
My dad would have played for Ireland in the 60s. From when we could walk, we were handed a rugby ball. I took to it and got on reasonably well with it. And I played Munster schools, left school and luckily played with Connacht and then on with Munster and Ireland A in the Ireland squad. So I had a fantastic time playing rugby, but it would have been certainly the focus of my life, and I guess the books were left to the side. But the rugby taught me so much. You were one injury or one bad performance away from losing your contract, so I had two small boys to worry about, so I started in the business world and thankfully it turned out very successfully.
Put the energy and passion that you would put into sport into your business, and that will bring you a long way towards succeeding in business.
In 2012 I was a finalist in the Entrepreneur of the Year. It's certainly not all plain sailing, life never is. I had to have 2 hips replaced due to old injuries from rugby. We had a substantial fraud in our African business, which had significant consequences to the business. And I guess more important and more personal to me is my long-term marriage of 25 years, broke up. You take a long, hard look at yourself and what you're doing.
This is Europe in 2022. Russian tanks rolling across the borders of a sovereign neighbouring country.
I happened to be in Kiev just before the war, so when the war kicked off, I felt I had to do something. I still had a lot of drive, I still had a lot to give. I guess I directed that towards assisting in Ukraine. The Russians had targeted the health infrastructure within Ukraine, so it was very obvious from an early stage that they needed assistance. You can see literally the destroyed hospital and the clinic in a can, which is operating as a triage centre for the hospital. It's sitting in front of the old emergency department, which is closed. Majority of them were trauma units because that's what was required, but there was also maternity units, there was also primary care clinics, and there was a lab unit that we put in. But it's here beside us. There's a lot of shelling that's going on beside us, but this is again another clinic in a can which is operating here. You can see the shrapnel and the damage that's been caused in the front of this. At the start of the war, we were able to put warehouses in place and a logistics solution in place. It was like a startup. It really was taking a business approach to a humanitarian crisis. And then once we had a solution in place, we were very quickly able to scale that up. To date, we've brought in about 80 million worth of medicines and counting. From an early age, my father would have passed on to me, just how good it felt to play for Ireland in the humanitarian field. If you knew how good it felt to deliver medicines or to assist the people in need, the feeling that you get from being able to do that would just drive you on.
Airstrikes in northern Gaza have killed more than 30 Palestinians, including at least 13 children.
Ross Kelly from the Entrepreneur of the Year Network stepped up and joined as the director of our Gaza response. The International Medical Corps in Gaza, and they are going to use our first clinic to do 8 to 10 major surgeries on a daily basis. We have 16 units in Ukraine, and we hope to have at least 10 units in Gaza, so we hope to scale effectively an Irish hospital within Gaza. The Entrepreneur of the Year Network were incredibly supportive. What we've done in Ukraine and Gaza would not have been possible without the support of that network. They've taken a leap in faith. A lot of the alumni that have supported me haven't met me before. And unfortunately, I lost my father in the last 12 months, and his last message to me actually comes from a concern, and that is, do as much as you can, for as many as you can, for as long as you can. I believe he did that, and I believe that's what he's passed on to me, and it's a legacy that I'm trying to prove.
Our Alumni Recognition Award recipient, Shane Leahy.
Thank you very much. As everybody in this room knows, it's not about the individual, it's about the team. And that is especially the case when it's a voluntary charity like One for Humanity. We have an exceptional team. Ross Kelly, the head of our Gaza response, has been absolutely phenomenal. Thanks to his work, I'm delighted to announce the delivery of our first operating theatre in central Gaza. This has taken 10 months of hard work, dead ends, and determination from Ross, and was largely funded by EOI alumni. Thanks to Professor Jerry Burry, Professor Chris Fitzpatrick, we have another operating theatre contracted and have a further 5 units agreed. These units are a further operating theatre, a lab unit and a maternity unit, and will be provided by the medical institutions strong-armed by Chris, Jerry and Ross. We are also in discussion with the government to match these funds. I just got back from Amman in Jordan yesterday, and according to the International Medical Corps, who will staff and operate these facilities, they will make a substantial difference on the ground, with each unit undertaking around 300 major surgeries a month. While we are in discussions for further units, we also have switched our focus to providing vital medicines and surgical supplies. Initially, they will be purchased in the West Bank and Jordan and shipped in, as this is the quickest route. We've already kicked off the first proof of concept delivery, which will contain 2 weeks' supply for the field hospital in central Gaza. As always, once this route is proven, we'll look to scale. If you can or would like to help, please reach out. As I said, this is a team effort, and without Norman Sheehan, Brian Flanagan, Lynn Kelleher and Gail Broder, we would not be where we are. Lastly, the support of this group, the EOI alumni, has been phenomenal. From funding Fergal Bruder, Kieran Mulligan and Bill Walsh have been incredible, but also from a supportive position, this group have been exceptional. It is horrific what's happening in Ukraine and particularly Gaza, and we will continue to support both. But I leave you with one of my ex-coaches, Declan Kidney's favourite mantras, which is extremely apt for this room and for this group. If not now, when? If not you, who? Thank you.
Well, that concludes part one. Put the kettle on, but make it quick because we're brewing up more incredible stories of success to lift up your night.
Back in a bit. Entrepreneur of the Year. Welcome back to the Entrepreneur of the Year Awards 2024. Now, Anton, very exciting. There's only one more sleep left. You can feel the tension in the room.
Oh, my understanding was we don't mention the election.
No, I'm talking about Black Friday. I've got my online shopping cart. It's full to the brim. Ready to go.
Should have thought that. I will likewise get on it after we see the nominees for the established category.
At Zerotech's 85,000 square foot factory in Claregalway, Dr. Barry Flannery's pioneering work in battery cooling and configuration is electrifying the workhorse vehicles of industry in mining, transport and logistics globally.
It's a case of creating a vision. I've got to lift people with that vision, whether they're my own staff, my customers or investors or any other stakeholders. So the best way I describe my role and what I believe I should be doing as a CEO, it's not a chief executive officer, it's a chief everything officer. My job is to be wherever the bottleneck of the company is, and that could be funding, that could be technical, it could be a broken drain outside. You never know what this fundamental issue is, but wherever that bottleneck is, you'll find me pretty nearby to it.
Physicist Hugh Cormacan's vision is to improve patient outcomes with Ceradan's advanced imaging technology. In 35 countries on 6 continents, the Belfast company's tech is in labs that process around 200,000 tests every day.
Physics is fundamentally about solving problems, real-world problems, with understanding the nature of life. And that's very apt for a business world. We could see ways that we could use the technology to help people get a quicker diagnosis. I wanted to be able to make a difference in the world and help.
Sean Moran used his business DIY skills when he brought Home Project Centre out of Nama and built it up to a 19-centre home improvers paradise with an annual turnover of €150 million.
I never get too concerned with a bad month's sales, but I never get too excited with a really good month's sales. But bad times come around, and we did have them, and we did have them back in the recession days, and it was enormously difficult to navigate through that. We are a serious force in the market, from having been very much under the radar and a much smaller player in the industry. So having saved the business and not only stabilised it, but then grown it, that's a very proud achievement for me. Yeah.
Almost 2/3 of all green electricity in Ireland is traded through captured carbon. Turnover this year will hit €100 million as rain or shine, Duncan O'Toole powers the decarbonisation of energy on the island.
I grew up in North County Dublin. It's Dublin, but it's the countryside. I grew up on the side of my granddad's farm, so I would have seen hard work and enterprise from an early age. Certainly for me, I wanted to work for myself. It isn't just about getting to where you want to be, it's also about enjoying the journey. Quite confident that I'll get to where I want the business to go to, but what I'm less confident about is what I'll be like when I get there, so I want to make sure that I can try and enjoy moments. Things like this are great for that, like, you know, these are great experiences that I wouldn't have got had I not built the business.
Good man, Duncan. There you go. But you know what? It's a bit of an extreme length to go for a night out, but you look like you're enjoying it anyway. Yeah. Fair play to you. All right, our next section has it all. Northern Lights, champion cheerleaders, animal magic, and even lasers in space. Take a look.
Embryonics Moonshot is creating a superfast communications network using lasers in space. Siblings Ruth, John and David Mackey's high-precision and incredibly robust technology is imagined and manufactured in Galway and due for liftoff in 2025.
We've had to put our lives on hold to a large extent for approximately 10 years. I mean, that's a huge commitment. We couldn't see doing it any other way. The best business advice we got was from our parents. What they always instilled in us was actually you have to fight for what you want, and that entrepreneurial spirit I definitely attribute to our parents in a big way.
Galway is now actually part of the whole space ecosystem. We're having people come and visit us specifically to find out about our technology.
Using patented styrofoam beads, Energy Store's free-flowing, expandable foam insulation is a transformative technology. Conor McCandless's focus on innovation has driven turnover at the County Down Company to £35 million this year.
I really struggled to accept the status quo, or why do you do this? Sure, we always do it like this. You know, that's the most annoying answer in the world. My dad always said everything takes longer and costs more, and it's frustratingly true.
CF Pharma Group in Kilkenny produces animal and human medicines and veterinary diagnostic tests patented globally. Claire Hughes grew up with horses and has kept one foot in the arena ever since.
I started dealing horses when I was young. I got my communion money, bought a calf. I sold the calf and I bought a cow. I sold the cow and I bought a horse, and then I started business. So for me it was instinctive. Very competitive person. I think that's part and parcel of an entrepreneur. It's not just about the profit and loss, it's about actually getting something achieved.
Hospitality is the name of the game at corporate.ie. From the annual American college football game to 1,500 special occasions on an average Thursday at any of his 3 award-winning restaurants, your host with the most is Pádraig O'Kane.
This has been a tough year for business. Having things like the college football, our major wins, we had 27,000 people in town. Not just in Dublin though, they were all around the country. A dinner these days is the atmosphere, it's beverage, it's food, it's service, it's the overall experience, it's what a place looks like, it's how the staff look after you, it's everything that goes with it. The days of I'm just going for dinner are well and truly gone. I think that's a great thing.
Well, it's time now for one of our established nominees to get their just desserts, to reveal our second winner of the evening. Please welcome Kieran Hancock from the Irish Times and my colleague from News Talk, Bobby Kerr.
The ambition we've just seen in the established category proves that the sky really is the limit for Irish enterprise.
The established entrepreneurs of the year are Ruth David and John Mackey from Embryonics. Go.
Literally speechless. Someone tricked us and said we weren't going to do a speech. Well, first of all, to say a huge thank you to everyone who participated in this decision, because it's more than just Embryonics winning this for the space sector in Ireland. It means an awful lot. Last year we set up the Irish Space Association to recognise the cluster of companies that are emerging out of Ireland and punching well above our weight. And so it's just a huge thank you just in general for the establishment of this space sector. So thank you very much. And I have to give a very special thank you to two very special people in the room, our wonderful parents. David said it very rightly, this wouldn't have happened without their belief. Not just one child, but all three children going to this crazy journey and housing and feeding us in those early years, and just believing in us, backing in us, our first believers. So huge thank you. And obviously, we couldn't be doing this without the most amazing team. Everyone who's joined the Embryonics team, almost 100 strong, coming from no background necessarily in the space sector, really having to forge this from the ground up, really, I guess, believing in the vision of what we want to achieve at Embryonics. And this is a global operation and an interstellar operation, but it's just been amazing to see that team be forged. And a big special thank you to that team. I can't wait to bring this home to you guys. And on a personal note, big thank you to my amazing wife, Kate. Really couldn't have got through these last few years without you. So thank you so much.
Well, folks, for the last few weeks, we have welcomed a succession of Southern Hemisphere nations to Ireland to experience our hospitality and our prowess on the rugby field. But last summer, we sent a touring party in the other direction as the Entrepreneur of the Year finalists enjoyed the entire spectrum of life in the Rainbow Nation.
In 2024, South Africa welcomed Ireland's trailblazing entrepreneurs. For a week in June, finalists and alumni alike exchanged experiences, learned from leading business thinkers, and immersed themselves in the culture of this vast and fascinating country.
I'm finding this week inspiring, learning from other entrepreneurs, and I definitely know that I have people that I could lean on for advice and support if I need it.
It's actually the peers that are in this group, and it's those moments, the in-between moments, where you're getting real golden nuggets of advice. That's where the real essence of this week really shines through.
The executive education has been nothing I've experienced before. You know, the highest caliber of CEO, informative from a business perspective to very moving, so that's all been incredible.
In France where we played you guys, I think it's the first game that I saw afterwards that even the losing team was running around the field and saying thank you to the crowd.
And I think as business people we all understand that our bottom lines are sacrosanct.
It's about learning from each other. I think we have a very warm history. You've supported us tremendously through the apartheid years. I think it speaks tons to the spirit of the Irish. And I think we as South Africans have exactly the same spirit.
We've come to an enterprise zone within the township. There's a lot of training going on. I was just up in a sewing factory there where they're training people, and everybody I spoke to, they are all going to start their own business. When you finish your training, what are you going to do?
I'm going to do the sewing in my house. Thank you very much. I don't want to see.
I must say this is a country that's full of dreams, full of potential, and it would be terrific to see it coming through in years to come.
What we're seeing here is kind of micro businesses in operation in an incubation unit, but within the environment of a township. It's great to see the real South Africa.
On the political side of South Africa, learning about what has happened here and how resilient a nation they are, it's a truly inspiring experience, so it is.
My highlight was probably going to the safari, but honestly I think it's the people more than anything. We're sitting here as probably some of the youngest, but we're welcomed with open arms by everyone.
To meet like-minded people with similar problems, similar opportunities, and chat them through. You cannot buy into this. This is something very special. Looking forward to being involved in this for many years to come.
Oh, what a trip. And you know, you'd almost forgive South Africa for winning the World Cup and destroying Irish dreams again. Almost. Anyway, here are some Irish competitors who are winning on the international stage.
With QK Meats, Ivor Queally built one of South Africa's leading cold store, meat packing, logistics, pet and frozen food businesses, and achieved all that while reducing water and fossil fuel consumption by a third.
A lot of the motivation and the work that we do today as a family and our family businesses in Ireland and Europe, but also in South Africa, it's for the next generation so that we can continue to grow and expand. The advice that I would give for anybody starting business is don't be afraid to try and fail. I have never learned anything from my successes. I have only learned from my failings. So if you think of all the things that you're going to do and it goes completely pear-shaped and it goes wrong, well, you won't do it the next time and you get that experience. Experience is something that you get just after you needed it.
Motor racing champion Gilbert Yates has driven Healthcare Ireland into pole position in nursing home and specialist care in Northern Ireland. Employing 2,000 people, no detail is left to chance in caring for their 1,500 residents.
I like to be a perfectionist and I like to make sure that what I want in my head is getting delivered. Well, I like healthcare and I think we're leaving a legacy and we're changing the industry. So it's not just for financial benefits or gains of healthcare or construction. I love working with people. I love seeing people having great facilities to care for their parents at the later stage of their life.
Jonathan Larby and Mark Gilmartin created T-Pro, a tool that takes the pain out of essential record keeping for medical staff, with 97,000 active users globally every month.
I like the challenge. I like doing something that's difficult. I think doing hard things is important, and this has been hard.
After the cyber attack in the public health care sector in Ireland, all of our team worked 4 nights in a row to make our product available, which would allow the hospitals open their doors because they could identify patients coming through the doors when they had no IT systems. And I think that made me very proud, because it's in times of crisis that you see people shine.
Sisters Maxine and Rosaline Hyde nurtured their grandmother's relish recipe into an international brand. At Ballymaloe Foods, the 23 product range is deeply rooted in the family tradition of exceptional cuisine.
We've really continued with our grandparents' ethos of how they cook, how they source vegetables, how they source their food.
If my sister wasn't there, I don't think I'd want to do it. But Max is there, and it's just great to have a partner in crime that's your sister. She's always going to be there for you, no matter what, so that is wonderful. It's been such a great learning journey, and I will allow myself to feel a little bit of pride that we are here as nominees.
All right, let's meet our next nominees with great expectations. David Maguire is a keen sailor and a passionate advocate for solar energy. BNRG has invested over €600 million in projects that displace more than 6 million tonnes of CO2 and powers 128,000 homes a year.
For me, as a young kid growing up, nature and the environment was just something I was very, very passionate about, and that's what I studied as a scientist. With the projects that we build, within a year we'll have displaced a power plant equivalent of Moneypoint, for instance, and we'll continue to do that year on year. Doing the right thing for the right reasons is really important to me in the business.
Channel Mechanics is used by 500 million companies globally to seamlessly get their products to market. Kenneth Fox's world-leading software is available in more than 110 countries and 20 languages, all from Galway City.
My old man living in Galway, it's definitely character building. Galway's a great city and a brilliant place. There's a really, really brilliant network of people in Galway, both at the leadership level, but a huge amount of talent. We're an Indigenous company in Galway now, seen as a global leader. We go to the US, we can pull in the most senior channel leaders in the world into a room for a day. But you do need that drive, you do need that relentlessness, and you have to have a vision, and it all centres around what that vision is.
Fire One's innovative medical device is tackling one of the world's biggest healthcare challenges, heart failure. Conor Hanley has raised more than $90 million to keep patients healthier at home for longer.
Fundamentally, we're trying to help people. That's what gets you up on a wet November Monday morning, and that really is what bonds us together to give us the resilience to actually bring this innovation to the market and help people. We're trying to transform how hospital care is delivered and healthcare, so we need to really think differently to bring a completely different way of how care is done. So innovation is the bedrock of everything we do.
Brendan Mee's MTM Engineering installs the communications and power arteries of critical infrastructure like data centres. Employing 1,000 people across 10 countries, turnover is set to tip €140 million.
Very proud of what we're doing with the family business and all that. Like, it's an incredible journey we're on, and it's very special. So I just say, put the tools in your belt to get yourself into a position to take a chance, but then you have to take the chance as well. So you have to go after it. And the same with taking a chance on something. You know, if you break it down, it's not that big of a step. You just have to take the first one, and after that, you have to take the second one and the third one, and before you know it, you're halfway down the runway, and you're either smiling or you're crying, but you're at least going somewhere.
Brendan Mee, their runway success. Here to reveal the winner of the International Award. It's Keith Ryan from Julius Baer.
Paul Mescal is not the only gladiator around here that has gone global, because the finalists in this category have built empires that are the envy of the world. The International Entrepreneur of the Year is Ivor Queally. He played good.
I'm speechless. I think the first person that I have to say and recognise is my dad, who passed away a year ago, who was a huge mentor and a believer, and just left me off to sort of fail and pick me up and point me off in the direction again. And I think without that in my early years, I think it's a large part of what I've become. I'd like to thank my wife, who's moved 4 continents over the period of 20 years, and my 5 amazing children who've put up with me as I've commuted up and down to South Africa over the last number of years. But most of all, our amazing people that have been a part of the journey with us. Like, nothing would be possible without fantastic people. And we've had amazing people. We've had people that's come with us from Ireland, that's been a part of it for the 20 years from the very beginning of our journey, and built what we have today in South Africa, which has just been an incredible journey. So thank you to everybody, to all, EY, Northern Ireland. It's just been, it's incredible to have this recognition for all our staff and what we've done in South Africa. Thank you.
Well, every year we honour someone from outside the business arena who, in the eyes of the judges, has demonstrated the classic traits that make a successful entrepreneur. To reveal this year's special award, will you please welcome back partner lead of the Entrepreneur of the Year programme, Roger Wallace.
Venturing without a map, entrepreneurs seek to discover the very best version of our future. Our 2024 Special Award winner certainly navigated uncharted waters. He demonstrated the resilience of an entrepreneur in very turbulent times. Tonight we acclaim a leader who persuaded others to trust in the power of the possible.
When times get tough, we all need some shelter from the storm. Precisely 14 years ago, it was our nation that was battered and bruised, perilously teetering near the rocks. But the darkest hour is before the dawn, and what started as a flicker of hope soon became a beacon.
Enda Kenny came from a dynastic political family. His father, Henry, was a Mayo football star, and he became a TD, and then he died relatively suddenly in 1975.
Well, I intend to carry on the tradition of my late father, that is, to serve the greatest number for the greatest good.
He was 24 years of age and got elected.
After a quarter of a century in supporting roles, the 2011 general election propelled Enda Kenny to centre stage and into the office of An Taoiseach.
Rise today to nominate Deputy Enda Kenny as the next Taoiseach of this country. Deputy Kenny will bring to the office of An Taoiseach integrity, honesty and a work rate which simply cannot be surpassed.
When Enda Kenny became Taoiseach, our economy was on the floor, our international reputation was in shreds. The Troika were here, he became leader, and possibly the worst time for the country economically in the entire history of the state. You really don't know how good a person is until you see the colour of their money when they're in that actual position.
Good evening.
He was always underestimated by so many, including his political opponents, but that steeliness that Enda Kenny has, he rose to that occasion. The almost miraculous nature of the recovery was recognised by Time magazine with the headline, "The Celtic Comeback."
Enda led and helped to create an environment for entrepreneurship in Ireland, to reinvent the Irish economy and actually to give belief.
One of the great moments for him as Taoiseach had nothing to do with the economy.
I, as Taoiseach, deeply regret and apologise unreservedly to all those women for the hurt that was done to them as a result of the time they spent in the Magdalen laundry. Let me hope that this day and this debate, heralds a new dawn for all those who feared that the dark midnight might never end.
captured the mood of the nation in relation to that issue at that particular moment of time.
I think a lot of things that he changed in that time, the whole marriage referendum.
We have disclosed who we are, a generous, compassionate, bold and joyful people.
His time as Taoiseach has done a huge amount for Ireland.
Enda Kenny always understood that Ireland's so much more than an economy, it's a society. He helped bring about so much social progress to accompany that economic progress.
His Irishness is something that he brought with him all over the world. He kept those roots with him wherever he went.
It's fitting that we gather here each year to celebrate St. Patrick and his legacy. He too, of course, was an immigrant.
Enda was a brilliant Taoiseach in his 6-year term. He's the man that's around, talking to everyone, has time for everyone, no matter who you are.
Enda Kenny embodies the definition of patriotism. He is a person who served our country with distinction, brought energy and hope to the highest office in the land, and helped restore our economic sovereignty and our international reputation.
So I leave you now with thoughts of one man. His name was James McGinley. He was a lighthouse keeper. Not famous, not rich, but crucially important. Whatever the weather, people depended on him for their lives, to look out for people, to bring them safely home. James McGinley was my grandfather.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 Special Award winner, Mr. Enda Kenny.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Roger, you caught me there. The man in Wall Street, New York, said to me at 7 o'clock one morning when I produced my speech of 35 minutes, he said, "Sir, you got 3 minutes. They will leave." Thank you, Roger. You caught me there with that little clip. I am humbled and privileged to accept this award. Thank you, EY. Thank you, Enterprise Ireland and Northern Ireland and everybody associated with this. But I accept it on the basis of the people, because it was the people first and last who saved our country. Politics gives you the opportunity and the responsibility of leading in the best way you can. But it's about opening the doors and the opportunity for people like you to do what you know and what you believe that you can do. I remember taking 5 billion out of the economy over 2 budgets back in 11 and 12. I remember the despair and the disillusionment and the despondency. I remember when the bankers were less popular than the politicians. And you sorted that out, because leading by example and give hope and open the doors of opportunity, we have moved from a position of junk status practically to being in the top 20 wealthiest countries in the world inside a decade. And now our challenges. And now our challenges are challenges of a first world country. And as you know, there's a very important event happening this week in Ireland, Roger. It doesn't happen very often. Good job. It requires a lot of planning, very clear instructions, agility, mobility, discipline under pressure, commitment, and all of these attributes. And I speak, of course, of Ireland playing the Wallabies on Saturday. And a previous winner who said, you know, I know what it is to stand shoulder to shoulder
And I hope that when the referee, both in that event and in the referee tomorrow, will see to it that we're left with a country of stability and forward thinking and entrepreneurship. I admire what you do, and I have to say that in the many thousands of places that I've visited over the years with responsibility as Taoiseach and Head of Government, really was inspirational to see people with an idea follow it through with a belief that they could expand that business and put it beyond the shores of this island as you have done. And if government is worth anything, it is worth listening and implementing where possible to do these things. And I would say to Leo, Clancy and the others, it's more important now than ever that we have an unleashing of entrepreneurship, because the next generation of entrepreneurs are in the schools. They're coming out here. You mightn't think that Albert Einstein and Brian McMahon had things in common. Einstein said, "However long you may live, always stand like curious children before the great mystery into which you were born." And Brian McMahon said, and teachers were in the news recently, "Every child has a flower. Your job is to find it." You are all children. You are all given that flower to see and where it grew, and that's what you're doing. And the next generation are going to have to do that to an even further degree. Air, light, heat, water, food, energy, migration, cyber, the unregulated space and the unregulated oceans. These are endless opportunities for young people to major in entrepreneurship. I'm going to leave it at that because you are disruptors of tradition for the right reasons. It's a privilege to be here, a privilege, and I accept this on behalf of the people. Before I leave, I want to wish you the best, Michael McGrath, as our new Commissioner in Europe. You've got a difficult job there in justice and data protection. I'm sure you'll measure up to it, just like I tried to when I was given responsibility in a different sphere. Thank you all very much indeed. Gura maith agad fad.
Lovely speech. After the break, more small seeds which have blossomed into extraordinary enterprises.
And we'll be revealing the identity of the 2024 EY Entrepreneur of the Year.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue on with one more part and then you're free from us. Just one more part, which will take about 15 minutes. Thank you very much.
Welcome back to the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. When collecting an award on this very stage 3 years ago, Ireland's former President, Mary Robinson, urged us all to hurry towards a brighter, greener world that is just around the corner. And so many of the entrepreneurs in this room are embracing that call to action.
So, to announce the winner of the Sustainability Award, please welcome Director of EY Entrepreneur of the Year, Emer McCrann.
There's a Native American proverb that says, "We don't inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children." Entrepreneurs understand this, with a record number of finalists this year having sustainability at the heart of their business. Our next award recognises the efforts of Irish entrepreneurs to shape a sustainable future.
Safeguarding our fragile home requires the ability to see a bigger picture. In only its third year, the Entrepreneur of the Year Sustainability Award celebrates architects of optimism who drive transformation. This year's competition showcases the achievements of exceptional champions of change. Their vision will be the key to unlocking a better, greener world.
The reason why sustainability is really important in Ireland, that simply it just will make Ireland a better place. It's very important to recognise the work that's been done in this sector. Change is happening in Ireland. Let's celebrate that, let's encourage that, and let's have more of that.
And our Sustainability Award winner is Duncan O'Toole from Capture Carbon.
Thanks a million. This means so much. Thanks a million. Just want to say thanks so much to EY, to the finalists this year, and to the alumni for making this a phenomenal event and a fantastic experience for me to date. I'd like to also thank our customers and clients who've shown us this faith since we set up the business 18 years ago. Also like to thank our team. I'm surrounded by a wonderful team. I have two businesses in the sustainability front. I'm here for Capture Carbon, and I'm surrounded by a phenomenal team in both companies. I come to work, I'm surrounded by people who've got huge integrity, huge intelligence, and huge industry and endeavour, and that makes my job a lot easier. One other thing to say is, when I set up the business 18 years ago, I remember talking to someone about the Kyoto Protocol, and they thought it was a Japanese food takeaway. Nobody knew what this was, and 18 years ago, myself and Orla we were three of our four kids, and they were under the age of 3. I think they were 3, 2, and 1. And I suggested to Orla that I maybe set up Capture Carbon, and that we would go into the decarbonisation of energy, which just wasn't a thing at the time. And at the time, Orla had her own business. I had my own business. Orla was an inbound tour operator. I was running nightclubs, bars, and cafes. So a kind of move into decarbonisation of energy wasn't the obvious next step. But true to Orla's form, straight away she said, "Go for it." Orla's been my partner in all of this. She's always put myself and our family first. She's always been there to support. And I just want to say that this is as much her award as it is mine. And thank you for everything you've done. I love you.
Oh, he's here. Yep.
Will you please welcome the EU Commissioner for Democracy, Justice, the Rule of Law and Consumer Protection, Michael McGrath.
Delighted to be with you all here this evening to celebrate the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards for 2024. This event has established itself as an important fixture in the Irish business calendar. And I'd like to thank EY Ireland Managing Partner Frank O'Keefe, EY Lead Partner Roger Wallace for the opportunity to be here, but more importantly to thank them and all of their colleagues at EY for giving recognition to these brilliant entrepreneurs. For over a quarter of a century, your EOI programme has provided an invaluable platform to showcase entrepreneurial success, and you've built an ecosystem and a network of successful businesses who are having a profoundly positive impact on the economy here in Ireland and indeed in many international markets in which they compete. Over the years, the programme has evolved to both reflect and shape the prevailing business landscape, and in particular the increasing emphasis on sustainability and corporate social responsibility. And I would like to pay tribute to all those who have given their time to making the award programme the major success that it is today. And when I think of the entrepreneurial landscape in Ireland today, the words that come to mind are dynamic and innovative. In the course of my previous work as a Minister in the Irish Government, I had the opportunity to visit many innovation hubs all over the country. And on every occasion, I was struck by the energy and the optimism of the entrepreneurs that I met. In many cases, they were working on solving problems many of us did not yet realise needed to be tackled. I want to acknowledge also all of the state agencies and the public servants across the island of Ireland who support enterprise, who encourage entrepreneurs and who prepare them for the often difficult and uncertain journey that lies ahead of them. This weekend, the new European Commission will come into office and will serve for what is a critical period between now and the end of this decade. And there is so much to be proud of in our European Union. Collectively, we have a highly developed European economy and good living standards generally for our citizens. But we are falling behind some of our main economic partners and competitors when it comes to innovation. We are not short of ideas in Europe, generating proportionately as many patent applications as in the US and China. However, we are not bringing enough to commercial fruition. And many of the most commercially successful choose to move their centre of enterprise elsewhere. Between 2008 and 2021, nearly 30% of European-founded unicorns moved their headquarters abroad, predominantly to the US. Too many businesses that are European startups decide to scale up based elsewhere. And we need to fix this. And when introducing the new College of Commissioners in the European Parliament in Strasbourg yesterday, President von der Leyen confirmed the first major initiative of the new Commission will be a competitiveness compass. And this will be built on the 3 pillars of the Draghi report. The first is closing that innovation gap with the US and China. The second is a joint plan for decarbonisation and competitiveness. And the third is increasing security and reducing dependencies. And I will use my voice on these issues, and in doing so, will draw on my experience as a finance minister in a successful enterprise-based economy in the European Union, and also on what I have learned from engagement and listening to entrepreneurs like you in the room here this evening. The new EU Commission has made a commitment to cut red tape and bureaucracy. Every commissioner has been asked to contribute to reducing the volume of regulation on business by 25% generally and 35% in the case of SMEs. The single market we have of almost 450 million consumers has been one of the great achievements of the EU, but we can make it better. A start-up in Ireland today has to deal with 27 different systems and sets of barriers across the EU. And I have been tasked with bringing forward a common EU-wide legal status to help innovative companies to grow. This is an essential step if businesses in our union are to take maximum advantage of our single market. In the course of my work, I will launch a Justice for Growth strategy, which will involve examining how our civil and company law frameworks can be improved to make international trade easier. I will examine how artificial intelligence can help to accelerate the digitalisation of our justice systems throughout Europe. And I'll work to ensure that when you are trading across Europe, you can have confidence that commercial contracts will be enforced, that the judicial systems you may need to encounter are genuinely independent, and that you will be treated on an equal basis as a homegrown company which may be a competitor from that very country. And this will be achieved by adding a single market dimension to the annual Rule of Law report, so that businesses can have certainty about how different national systems in the EU will treat them. I want to acknowledge the work of outgoing Commissioner Mairead McGuinness for championing Capital Markets Union. Her successor, incoming Commissioner Albuquerque, is now tasked with this work to support cross-border investment and enhance access to financing for EU businesses, particularly small and medium-sized enterprises. The Draghi report published earlier this year advocates Europe doing far more to support research and development, encouraging risk-taking and creating an ecosystem that nurtures start-ups and allows them to scale effectively within the EU. And in line with this, the new Commissioner for Start-ups, Innovation and Research will bring forward a new European Innovation Act to streamline our regulatory framework, facilitate access to venture capital for European innovative start-ups and scale-ups. And there will also be a new EU start-up and scale-up strategy that improves framework conditions and a strategy to increase the uptake of AI by European scientists and a European AI Research Council where we can pool all of our resources. And as the incoming Commissioner responsible for consumer protection across the European Union, I will be working with colleagues to tackle the challenges of e-commerce on consumer safety and unfair competition. Too many products that do not meet minimum EU safety standards are being bought on certain online platforms and imported into our union. We need to protect consumers and, in doing so, ensure that European companies who play by the rules are competing on a level playing field. I have to say I am delighted that former Taoiseach Enda Kenny has been recognised appropriately here tonight for his extraordinary record of public service. As that video showed, you held the office of Taoiseach at the most difficult juncture of our history and deserve great credit for the leadership that you provided at that time. And that stewardship provided a necessary foundation for the successful economy and strong finances that we have in Ireland today. And I know very often our partners and spouses do not get the credit that they deserve. But Fionnuala, it's great to see you here with Enda tonight, and thank you both for your outstanding service to our country over many, many decades. And I think it's fair to say as well that the hair product entrepreneurs will still not make much money out of you, Enda. You stood the test of time on that front. Fair play. But these are undoubtedly times of considerable global economic and political uncertainty, and a strong and a united Europe will be an effective buffer against the main challenges that we face. And looking around the room here tonight, I sense enormous grounds for optimism. I see a can-do attitude and a resolute determination to succeed. And working together, we can achieve even greater things at a national and indeed an international level. So congratulations to all of the award winners so far and to the upcoming overall award winner. I wish you all an enjoyable evening, and to all of our inspirational entrepreneurs, continued success in the many years ahead. Thank you all very much.
Now, no hands have been shaken, no babies have been kissed, and no promises have been made about filling any potholes.
But we can confirm that our independent judging panel have cast their votes. Who will top their poll this year and become the 2024 Entrepreneur of the Year?
Please welcome to the stage EY Ireland's managing partner, Mr. Frank O'Keefe.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards 2024. Commissioner McGrath, former Taoiseach Enda Kenny, EY Entrepreneur of the Year finalists, to our EY Entrepreneur of the Year alumni, our clients and our colleagues, and also to our viewers at home. It is such an honour for me to be with everybody this evening as we gather to celebrate these truly amazing entrepreneurs. As you have already heard, the theme for this year's awards is Shaping the Future with Confidence. It is often said the best way to shape the future is actually to create it. Entrepreneurs, our finalists, our EOI alumni, along with other guests in the room tonight, are actually the ones who can truly shape our island's economies, create employment, impact society, our climate, and, as importantly, our collective future. They are the value creators, the problem solvers, the people who think in big and bold, creative ways that moves us all forward. And perhaps never has there been a time when we need them all more. We are living through a period of unprecedented change and volatility. From the impact of rapidly evolving technologies, the significant geopolitical disruption, to the ongoing inflationary pressures that are truly felt by all. And yes, the devastating wars in Ukraine, the Middle East and the Sudan. So, there really is a lot for leaders to contend with in today's really complex world. It is clear that now many political leaders also around the world are heavily influencing global trade, immigration, cost of living, the cost of doing business and, regrettably, also the health on our planet. Indeed, many are impacting human life itself at a scale that has not been seen in decades. So as we stand on the eve of a general election here in the Republic of Ireland, our citizens will actually decide what is most important to them. However, we must encourage our next Irish government to drive on with the important balance of ensuring that everybody has a fair standard of living and quality of life. And we must do this while also ensuring that we remain competitive when it comes to attracting international investment and supporting entrepreneurship to grow our economy. We must also continue to use our soft power, our strong, respected voice on the world stage to influence the world's political leaders to ensure that we have a safe, a prosperous and a sustainable world for everybody. Of course, as business leaders, well, we must make tactical and strategic decisions every day. And we do this as the world changes and changes really fast. When we think of what we all want the world to actually look like in 30 years from now, well, we have an obligation today to drive a positive impact for tomorrow. This is now the time for all of us in this room and also watching tonight to see the opportunity that is in front of us and to see solutions to these big macro problems, to innovate, to be true leaders and to shape our thinking about what the future can actually look like. We all know that our time as leaders, well, it's finite. We have been given a great responsibility and a great opportunity for a limited time to drive really big change. The time for action is now, and we must use this time wisely. In front of me tonight is the dynamic Entrepreneur of the Year community who have defined by action, by positive innovation and by positive action that delivers big change and a better future. As you can see from the terrific calibre of finalists, the future of entrepreneurship on our island has never been brighter. The impact that these incredible entrepreneurs make today and will make in the years ahead, well, it inspires all of us. And critically, it inspires the next generation of entrepreneurs. So to our finalists, a huge thank you for all that you do. Okay. I would now like to acknowledge two individuals in particular and then say a few thank yous. Can I start with a sincere and heartfelt congratulations to the new European Commissioner, Michael McGrath, who was officially only the 12th Irish person to serve as a European Commissioner. An incredible honour for you personally, Michael, and also for our country. Congratulations. To our special award recipient, former Taoiseach Enda Kenny, may I also take a moment to thank you for your leadership and stewardship of our country during this time and during your time in public life. Now, I have some others who I would like to thank this evening. To our clients and entrepreneurs who trust us in EY to support and add value to them. To our independent judging panel, a huge thank you to Harry Hughes and all of our judges for your expertise, your time and also your support. Our programme partners, Julius Baer, Enterprise Ireland and Invest Northern Ireland. Our media supporters, the Irish Times, News Talk and RTE. But of course, to our fantastic EY Entrepreneur of the Year team, my special thanks tonight goes to Roger Wallace, Emer McCrann, Anne-Marie, Katie and Gillian. Thank you for your leadership, your dedication to entrepreneurship and also to our EY Ireland Entrepreneur of the Year programme. Thank you. So lastly, but most importantly, to this year's finalists, congratulations to each and every one of you. You are such an inspiration and are truly shaping the future with confidence. And now, the moment I think we have all been waiting for. 3 category winners remain in the running for our overall award. So let's remind ourselves of who they are.
It would be fantastic validation of the journey we completely believe in, the business proposition that we completely believe in and are invested in.
It'd be an incredible honour to win and represent Ireland on the world stage.
To get this recognition this year has been very special.
We actually came into this probably not realising what we were getting into, so we do feel like we have won already.
I think in some ways the pride for the company and the team would be remarkable, an amazing achievement for the company to win such a prestigious thing.
I'd love to win. The judges have a really difficult job ahead of them in picking, because it's a selection of incredibly great businesses.
The 2024 EY Entrepreneur of the Year is Sharon Cunningham and Orla Ryan from Shorla.
Here for a couple of words. And I hate to do it, but I'm going to divide you and stand between you if that is all right now. It is very rare. I'm not standing on any dresses, am I? Okay, good. It has to be said, it is very rare that we see an emerging candidate win the overall, because to do so is a hell of an achievement. It's very rare to see a winner get 2 standing ovations in the night. What does it mean, Orla, to have won this?
This is absolutely unbelievable. It's a reflection of the absolute incredible journey we've been on. The highs have been high, but the lows have been low. And to get this recognition really makes it all worthwhile. And really, it's just unbelievable. I'm in shock.
The other thing, of course, is it is a very supportive group, as we've seen throughout the night and as you would have seen through the whole process. From your perspective, Sharon, for people watching at home, what is the message for them from your experience of getting to here?
The experience has been phenomenal. I think probably the best part of it for me was the CEO retreat to Cape Town, getting to meet all of these amazing people on such, an amazing level. It was a dream come true for me to be part of this programme, and I know it will be really helpful in driving our business forward as well.
Well, it is well deserved. It is a remarkable business. Your 2024 Entrepreneur of the Year, Sharon Cunningham, Orla Ryan, Shorla. I'll step out of your way, lads, and let you enjoy the applause.
It has been another stellar night at the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. We'd like to thank all of our 24 finalists for sharing their brilliant stories of success. Thanks also to our judges, our alumni and our many partners and sponsors.
And maybe having watched our winners in our categories and our 2024 overall Entrepreneur of the Year, maybe this has awoken in you a dormant desire to grow your own business and to become your own boss? If so, we cannot wait to sing your praises on this stage in the years ahead.
Absolutely. Good night.
Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention. Enjoy the night. Thank you very, very much. And congratulations to all the winners.